That being said, I guess we can start with LSU because that's what y'all came here for. So we can go over the LSU schedule. And because I am blind and I don't feel like using my phone to list the schedules, I have my wife sitting out here and she's going to read me the schedule for me, whatever I need her to read. I think that's pretty sweet, huh? My wife out here reading that for me. If y'all think that's sweet, hit the like button and subscribe button for me. All right, baby. Read me the away games at
All of the away games?
for LSU at this.
Only LSU.
Yeah, only LSU.
So you got Arkansas, Florida, South Carolina, and Texas A&M.
So Arkansas, Florida, South Carolina, and Texas A&M. Not a bad away opponent. You know LSU when they go to Arkansas. I believe they did lose last year against Arkansas. LSU did, but it was cold. It was icy. Jaden Daniels. What? What? My wife asked the question. Hold on. What?
No, I said it was snowing in Arkansas.
Not snowing, but it was rainy and icy. I think they said the ground was real icy and hard. So I know my wife don't watch football, so I don't mind the questions though. But anyway, Arkansas did beat LSU. I think it was like 13-10 or 17-13, if I remember correctly. Y'all, if y'all watching right now, y'all can leave a comment and let me know what the score was for sure. My wife will read me the comments and we'll interact. I'll answer all your questions. But I don't know if Daniels had his best game. I know Nussmeier, I think, played a lot in that game, if I'm not mistaken. And but LSU this year versus Arkansas, Daniels came back, and it's going to help LSU big time to play against Arkansas with Daniels. I mean, Daniels had a whole year under his belt this past year with LSU, learning the offense. He's a senior. He came back this year. Well, actually, let me tell you this. I'm actually wrong. I'm thinking about this year. Daniels, after this year, is going to the draft. So Nussmeier will be playing Arkansas next year. So hopefully, I'm still under the weather a little bit. So that was my mistake. Daniels isn't going to be playing against Arkansas next year. It's going to be Garrett Nussmeier that's going to be playing next year. And your quarterback room is going to be Garrett Nussmeier, who's going to be, I think, a redshirt junior next year, if I'm not mistaken. Then you got Colin Hurley coming in 2024 class. You still got Ricky Collins. So that would be your three quarterbacks on the roster. So I believe Nussmeier needs to get a little bit more playing time this year to get some more experience. But next year, I don't think LSU's going to have a problem beating Arkansas in Arkansas, the pig state, apparently. But, and then next you got South Carolina. Now, South Carolina, it doesn't that team doesn't scare me, but Shane Beamer does have the team heading in the right direction. But South Carolina is going to have a new quarterback in next year, probably a freshman. They don't have as much talent as LSU does. So I don't see that being a hard win either, even though it's away at South Carolina. Now, when you get to Florida, you just never know if Billy Napier is going to be there next year. The way it's headed, I mean, they're not getting the top recruits. They're not playing very well last year under Billy Napier. So I don't know where they're trending right now, but Florida is not going to be – they have a new quarterback this year, I believe. But they're not the same team they used to be either. So I believe we can go – it's going to be a little tougher game, but I believe LSU can get that win in the swamp easy. Then you look at Texas A&M, and you don't even know if Jimbo Fisher is going to be at Texas A&M come next year in 2024. Because, I mean, he ends the season 8-4. LSU shouldn't have lost to Texas A&M any year of the past couple years. But for some reason, LSU kind of plays down to Texas A&M. The thing is with Texas A&M and the SEC scheduling Texas A&M and LSU is that they want to make this a rivalry game. But I don't look at it as a rivalry. I don't know about LSU fans or Texas A&M fans. I don't know if y'all watching here too. Y'all let me know in the comments. Do y'all think A&M and LSU are rivals? I mean, I don't think so. I think their rivalries are Alabama, Florida, and Auburn. If to tell you the truth, not Texas A&M, and so I think they can get 4 road wins right there, and then you look at it, this scheduling model. LSU doesn't play Mississippi State or Auburn. LSU, excuse me, but Auburn is a rivalry to LSU, I believe, in my opinion. Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all think Auburn and LSU's more of a rival than Texas A&M and LSU, because I believe it is. But SEC left Auburn and Mississippi State off the schedule. And I can do without Mississippi State, but Mississippi State is the team in the SEC that LSU has played the most since SEC started. I think they played each other 126 times. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. Y'all can look it up. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think it's in the 120s, something like that. So even Mississippi State's more of a rival than Texas A&M, even though Mississippi State doesn't have the best team. And then, so with that being said, I don't see the away games being a problem for LSU. And before I get to the home games, we're going to talk about the 2 games that's on the LSU schedule. That's a non-conference game. That's 2 big-time games. So let's say this. LSU's playing 8 SEC games. It's South Carolina, Texas A&M, Florida. Who was the other one? It's not on my head. My wife walked in the house for a second. Take a phone call. Texas A&M, Florida, South Carolina, and there was another one. Oh, Arkansas. That's the 4 away games. The 4 home games are, I believe, Alabama, Oklahoma, and there's 2 other ones. When my wife comes back, I'll tell her to read them, but I'll come back to it because it's slipping my head, and I'm blind. I can't read the stats, but let's just say the 2 teams that's non-conference right now, let's talk about this first. USC and UCLA in 2024. USC is a neutral site game in Las Vegas. That's going to be September 1st, the first game of the year in 2024. And that's going to be a huge game. I believe that's going to be a top 10 matchup for sure. Lincoln Riley always has great offenses, but their defense sucks. Even though he went to USC, he still has no defense. He just took the Oklahoma team to Southern California. They play offense, no defense. So I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. But I think LSU pulls it off. But that's a neutral site game in Las Vegas. Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all plan on going to that game. I know it's 2024. I know it's a long ways away. But it's going to be a big-time game to think about. So that's one non-conference game. You all right, baby? Okay. And then they play UCLA as another non-conference game. I believe that's a home game. Okay, read me the home games for LSU.
Home games for LSU, you have
Alabama, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, and Vanderbilt. So let's get Vanderbilt out of the way. I'm kind of glad LSU gets Vanderbilt, the draw of Vanderbilt, Y'all know Vanderbilt's not beating LSU in Tiger Stadium. They suck. They're not going to get the talent. Clark Lee, I think, at least won four games last season. He coached at Notre Dame and he went to Vanderbilt as a head coach. So that's an automatic win for LSU. So if they win all 4 road games, which is Arkansas, Florida, Texas A&M, and South Carolina, that's 4 wins. You get 5 with Vanderbilt. Then your next games, Alabama, you get them at home, right?
Alabama's home.
Yeah, at 2024. Alabama's going to be playing probably a new quarterback in 2024. And we still got Garrett Nussmeier. It's going to be a battle, but I think LSU can pull it off. I think LSU's got Alabama's number now. They won last year. I think they broke the streak. So I believe they can win that game. That'd be 6 games right there. Now, I'm not saying the in order of games with the scheduling, but that's 6 wins right there. The Texas A&M game, you should win. Texas A&M has some talented players, but you got to realize that Jimbo Fisher is not a good coach, and he might not even be on the coaching Texas A&M next year if he goes 8-4 this coming year in 2023. So that would be 7 wins, and then the new teams that's entered the mix, Oklahoma and Texas, you get to play Oklahoma at home, and Oklahoma's not ready to be in the SEC, if I'm just being honest. Brent Venables' first year was last year, and they did not play very well. He does have good recruits going in, but I don't think he can turn Oklahoma around in just 2 or 3 years coming to the SEC. It's going to be a work in progress, and I believe it's going to be year 4 or 5 when Oklahoma actually starts making any noise in the SEC. So that would be 8 wins right there. That's 8. Now, that's not counting, I think it's Nichols and South Alabama in the non-conference that LSU plays, which are cupcakes. So that would give you 10 wins. So now you just got to worry about USC and UCLA. UCLA's at home. USC's in Las Vegas. Can you split those two? Can you beat UCLA at home and lose to USC in Las Vegas? I think they could get both wins. They go undefeated in 2024. That's how confident I am. But even say they lose to Alabama and USC, that's only 2 losses. They still should be in the college playoff. I believe the college playoffs expand in 2024 as well to 12 teams. So even with 2 losses, excuse me, even with 2 losses, LSU should be in the college playoffs, even if they lose to USC and Alabama. So it's not that difficult of a schedule for LSU in 2024. So my prediction that LSU goes at least 10-2 or 11-1. And after the 2024 season, we'll come back to this show and see if my prediction was right. Y'all leave y'all predictions down below and let me know what y'all think after hearing the schedule for LSU, what y'all prediction is, how many wins, how many losses LSU would have after the 2024 season. I'm saying